appreciate it. And after being in this industry, the general IT industry for 20 years, and the quality space for the last going on 11 years, as formerly part of Mercury and now as a part of HP Software, it gives me great pleasure and pride to share with you really our vision of what we believe is the most successful way that you all can deliver better applications, better business processes, better services. And there have been some great discussions here this morning about some of the areas that need to be identified, discussed when it comes to delivering higher quality within the quality assurance organizations. And I think it makes sense to step back and talk about the role of quality assurance even within the greater part. And when we see this, there are some very interesting things happening. What we've seen over the past few years is that the expectation on IT organizations to deliver services is only growing. It's growing almost at an exponential rate as yourselves, your companies, your IT management, your CIOs are constantly being pushed to be not just deliverers of services, but business partners. Now that demand is going up. However, the ability to deliver on that demand hasn't grown at the same rate. And so a gap is being created here. A gap on how to deliver on demand. And by the way, those services, I would argue, some of the most important services aren't onboarding services or other unrelated application areas. But they're the services, the delivery of digitized business processes, transactions, delivering these in the form of applications to your end users. And there is no more important organization in my mind than what you all do, quality assurance. And my reason for that is everybody knows when quality is not there if you talk to end users. However, it's very difficult for people to define what it is when it's there. They know when it works, and they know when it doesn't work. And they know when it performs and scales and when it doesn't perform and scale. If you as quality assurance professionals do not do your craft in the best professional, effective way, what happens is you as the last line of defense increase the QA organization to all of your end users. And that's never a good thing. So when I look at applications today, we look at what's going on in the past and what's going on forward, it creates a lot of new pressures on your organizations, on your profession. One of the things that's happened in the past is there has been a lot of success, both building custom and the vendors who have delivered packaged applications, the SAPs, the Oracles of the world over the past 10, 15 years, delivering the first generation of those systems. And while they've delivered great business value, there are a couple mistakes, a couple flaws, a couple problems with that. One is that in the new economy, what Chris mentioned earlier is that end user experience is key. And I believe that's key for many reasons. One of the reasons that's important has to do with the richness of the experience. There is always a competitor, a competitive service, a solution just a click away, especially when we come to web-based systems. And so unless organizations continue to deliver more rich content, better and more effective business processes through applications, there's no way they can compete. So the pressure is greater today. And that pressure comes in the form of change. And these applications that have been around are very difficult to upgrade. They're monolithic systems. So if we look at what's happening in today's applications, there's a big change happening. There's a big change happening to address that need for flexibility. And we think of this as really a perfect storm. The effect, the end result of this, I see over and over again as I talk to some of our most important customers and clients, is increased projects, increased demand on the whole application lifecycle, and particularly quality assurance. That is at an all-time high, and it seems to be growing. And so that pressure is great. It's great because there are still the monolithic applications that are there. Those need to be upgraded. They need to be integrated. And the method that people are using most when I talk to them today are service-oriented architectures or so. So instead of having a monolithic app, effectively what we've done is broken applications into many services, in many cases headless services, no user interface, and then bind them together dynamically in production. Think of what that does from setting the requirements for these, if you don't know how they'll be used, and then validating and ensuring they work, perform. when they're rolled into production. Very difficult problem. And it's one of the biggest challenges, I think, that is on the horizon and is also here today.